My name coming out your mouth, then I feel flattered. Cause when they stop talking about you, then you don't matter. Since yay high, young and used to stay fly. Never snitched the rule, a lot of y'all forgot to play by.
Delaware police corporal is fighting for his life this morning after he was assaulted while responding to a call. That attack happening on Sunday morning on Buckingham Drive in Delmar, Sussex County. That's on the Delaware-Maryland border. Police have identified the suspect as 30-year-old Randon Wilkerson and took him into custody. Joe Holden has more on the story.
A prayer vigil Sunday night for a Delaware police corporal in grave condition. Keith Heacook sustained massive injuries to his head. The exact circumstances of what happened to the 22-year veteran Delmar police corporal early Sunday morning remain a mystery. It was 5 a.m. and Corporal Heacook responded to a call for a fight in progress inside a home.
At this point, the investigation is unclear what transpired inside the residence, but we do know the officer was involved in some sort of physical altercation. The dispatchers began checking on the officer and received no response.
Delmar's police chief says backup officers found Corporal Heacook unconscious with apparent injuries to his head. He was rushed by ambulance to a Baltimore trauma center. Police also say an elderly couple across the street from where officers initially were called were also badly beaten. It is unclear if that attack was targeted or random. The police chief says what happened to one of their own Sunday morning is once again a reminder of how dangerous the job can be.
Keith is a father, husband, brother, son. This is not the call you want on a Sunday morning. I ask that you have Keith and everybody here in your prayers. This is not easy.
Joe Holden, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
And investigators say the suspect, Wilkerson, also struck a 76-year-old woman and a 73-year-old man with a glass object numerous times. Wilkerson is now facing several charges, including attempted murder and assault.
In the early hours of April 25th, 2021, in the quiet border town of Delmar, Delaware, a veteran officer prepared for his shift, unaware that what awaited him that morning would shock a community, upend lives, and force a reckoning with loss, duty, and justice. He was 54 years old. He had served for more than 2 decades. He was known at home and on the streets as a protector, a husband, a father, a friend. Within hours, his life would be taken. This is the story of how one call for help led to a brutal attack, how a town grieved, how investigators chased answers, and how justice was delivered, though the cost would never fully fade. Keith Andrew Heacook was born and raised in the region. He joined the Delmar Police Department in 1998 and served faithfully for over 22 years. At home, he was a husband to Susan, a father to 4 children, a brother, and a dedicated son. Friends remember him for his ready smile, his motorcycle rides, his involvement in the community. On patrol and at the department, he was part of the fabric of Delmar, a small-town cop who knew names, faces, neighborhoods. He saw the same houses, the same residents, year after year. His badge wasn't just a symbol, it was a promise. He understood something many forget. Policing in a small town is personal. Everyone knows someone. You answer a call, not just as a job, but as a neighbor. And on that morning in April, he answered that kind of call. He had plans, nearing retirement, looking forward to time with his family. In the years after his death, people would say he should have had 10 more years. He gave a lifetime already. At 5:12 a.m. on April 25th, 2021, a call came in about a fight in progress on Buckingham Drive in the Yorkshire Estates community. Corporal Heacook responded alone. He entered the home. What happened inside was savage. Prosecutors would later call it one of the most brutal attacks ever seen in Sussex County. The suspect, Randon Wilkerson, had been partying the night before. He had a long history with drugs. That morning, something inside him broke. Heacook was attacked and beaten until he lost consciousness. Then the assault continued. The force of the blows fractured his skull. He was left alone, dying on the floor. Across the street, an elderly couple, Steve and Judy Franklin, heard the commotion. Wilkerson entered their home next. Steve was beaten unconscious. Judy was attacked too. Her injuries were severe. That morning, 3 people were brutally assaulted before sunrise. One would never wake up again. Randon Wilkerson was 30 years old, a man lost in drugs, violence, and paranoia. At the time of the assault, he had methamphetamine, cocaine, fentanyl, and marijuana in his system. He told police he thought Keith Heacook was a child molester named Henry Proctor. He said he thought he was saving children, but there were no children in danger. Only a man in uniform doing his job. Wilkerson had a history of violent outbursts. He had overdosed multiple times. He was known to police. He had chances, rehab, family support, clean stretches, but he always slid back. That morning, he made a choice. He crossed the line. He didn't just lash out. He destroyed lives. Later, in a holding cell, he ranted about being a hero. "I'll be a legend for killing a child molester," he said. "I did nothing wrong." After the assault, multiple law enforcement agencies moved in. The Delaware State Police Homicide Unit took the lead. They moved fast. They found Heacook unresponsive. They documented the Franklin assault. They gathered body camera footage, statements, blood evidence, and medical reports. Wilkerson was arrested later that morning in his backyard. He was shirtless, wild-eyed, speaking nonsense. Over the next few days, detectives pieced together the timeline, the drugs, the delusions, the rage. What began as a routine disturbance call was now a homicide. The town waited, the state watched, and inside the Sussex County Courthouse, prosecutors built a case they knew had to be airtight. In October 2023, Randon Wilkerson was convicted on 16 counts. 2 counts of first-degree murder, assault, burglary, weapons charges, terroristic threatening. In December, the judge sentenced him to 2 consecutive life sentences plus 212 additional years. In court, Wilkerson said he was sorry, that he thought he was stopping a predator, but no one in the room believed him. Prosecutors called him a danger to society. The judge agreed. The courtroom was silent as the sentence was read. No cheers, no applause, just the weight of what had been lost. For Keith Heacook's family and for the Franklins, justice had come, but the pain hadn't left. It still lived in every room Keith once walked through, in every mirror Judy Franklin looked into, in every quiet shift change at the Delmar Police Department. Keith Heacook left behind a wife, Susan, 4 children, a mother who died before the trial ended, a son, Matthew, who said in court, "I will never forgive what happened." Steve and Judy Franklin survived, but they never fully recovered. Their injuries changed everything: how they walked, how they slept, how they trusted, The town held vigils. A street was renamed in Keith's honor. His badge number was retired. His story was told to new recruits as a reminder of the risks. Justice was served. But justice isn't a cure. It's a decision, a declaration. It cannot bring a man back. It cannot erase trauma, but it can tell the truth. Keith Heacook was a father, a friend, a man who showed up. And one morning, he answered the call. He didn't know it would be his last.